Beautiful humans, I hope you're all having a wonderful gem of a day. Today I am doing a Victoria's Secret inspired makeup tutorial. Now this isn't based on any particular look, I was just really inspired. I was on my Instagram, again, I'm always on Instagram. I didn't realize that the show was actually coming up, but it's on the 5th of December, and I was looking through, I think it was like a few sort of supermodels, and they were saying they were in Paris and they were doing the show. So yeah, it's filmed in Paris this year, in the Grand Palais in Paris. Last year I think it was in London or something, or I'm not sure. But yeah, this year they're doing it in Paris in this amazing venue. Go check out their YouTube channel. Victoria's Secret has a YouTube channel, and they sort of take you behind the scenes of the building and the collections and the models and, you know, all of this stuff. It's really interesting. They also show you actually how to do the makeup looks, which is obviously incredible, so definitely go check those out. I absolutely love the Victoria's Secret fashion show. I've never actually seen a full Victoria's Secret fashion show, which is insane because I absolutely love them. I think they're incredible. Like the craftsmanship, the work that goes into it is just absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm not that into like lingerie or anything like that, but it's so much more than that. It's basically like a regular fashion show. It's like hundreds and hundreds of hours spent making each of these individual costumes. They're all designed by separate people, like each sort of, I can't remember how many there is, but there's like a few different sort of looks, like a few different kind of individual collections, and they're all designed by separate designers. So they all kind of come together in this big amazing show. Every year they have celebrities and like, you know, singers and stuff on to add interest, because obviously it's a massive deal. The very first show they had, the internet basically crashed because the server was only designed for like 500,000 people, and there was 1.1 million people or something like that watching it. That was back in like, I don't know, 2004 or something, but it's grown so much since then. It's like a big event. Like now it's sort of televised on national television. This year I think there's Lady Gaga, The Weeknd, and Bruno Mars? Is it Bruno Mars? Yeah, Bruno Mars. So it looks like it's going to be an amazing show. Yeah, watch the behind the scenes of the sort of looks, the creations. They're absolutely incredible. So if you don't know anything about Victoria's Secret, it is basically America's largest lingerie retailer. It was originally developed in 1977 by a man called Roy Raymond, and it was kind of, the concept of the store originally was supposed to be a place where men could go to shop for lingerie and not feel strange, not feel kind of awkward or uncomfortable, because he had an experience where he went and was trying to shop for his wife for some lingerie and felt really uncomfortable. He just had a horrible experience, so he basically said, okay, this is an idea here. There must be a market of men exactly like me who are looking to buy lingerie for their wives, and they find it really uncomfortable and they don't know what to do, they don't know what to look for, and it's just not a very nice experience. So that was the original idea for the store. It's completely changed now. Like now the focus is definitely on female customers. They don't really have, they used to do male lingerie as well, I think, but now that it's just focused on females. The name, now I always wondered what the name meant, like Victoria's Secret. It's kind of not an obvious name. So it started in 1977, but the idea of it was like a Victorian, like, you know how in the Victorian era, that was like the era of no skin, like, you know, Queen Victoria. She was very sort of prim and proper and sort of, you know, like very religious. So it was like absolutely no skin showing. It was very sort of like uptight. The idea of it was supposed to be Victoria's Secret, so like what she's wearing underneath her clothes. So that is if you were interested, that is where the name comes from. Now the idea of the Victoria's Secret Angels was started in 1977. It was actually a line, I don't know if it still is, but it's like the Angels line. And the original Angels were Helena Christensen. I'm really sorry, by the way, if I completely butcher these names. I probably am going to. I haven't heard of a lot of them, so yeah, I'm probably gonna say them completely wrong. But the original Angels were Helena Christensen, Karen Mulder, Daniela Pestova, Stephanie Seymour, and Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks, you probably know her. She was there for, I think, the longest. She was like the last sort of original angel. The name sort of becomes synonymous with a spokesperson, a spokesmodel for the company. So a contracted spokesmodel. You can be a Victoria's Secret model without being an angel. So an angel is, they're specifically contracted to the company to represent the company. They go on tours, they do ad campaigns, they obviously walk in the shows, but you don't have to be an angel angel to walk in the Victoria's Secret show. So the angels for this year: Adriana Lima, Alessandra Ambrosio, Lily Aldridge, Ella Hosk, Jasmine Tookes, who is going to be wearing the fantasy bra, and this year it's like this amazing diamond bra. They always have a fantasy bra every year, which is worth like millions and millions and millions of dollars. I think it's like worth $2 million or something. We also have Josephine Scriver, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Some of these names are really hard to pronounce. Lace Ribeiro, Martha Hunt, Romy Street, Sarah Sampaio, Stella Maxwell, and Taylor Hill. The makeup artist for this year, I couldn't find who it was, but last year, 2015, 2014, it was Dick Page. Obviously there's more than one makeup artist, but he's like the lead makeup artist. He kind of comes up with the concept. So he's kind of evolved the look a little bit from the really, really bronzed, glowing goddess sort of look, which was really associated with Victoria's Secret angels in the past, and he's kind of moved it more onto a little bit more youthful, a lot more rosy and glowing and kind of younger. It's sort of a younger look. It's like you've just woken up and you're like a young sort of 20-something-year-old. You've just woken up out of bed and you just look rosy and flushed and gorgeous. I haven't gone with a particular look. It's not like a particular person or a particular look. It's just kind of the theme of the last couple of years has sort of been this coppery eye and a really rosy flushed cheek and like a lip tint. So that's kind of what I've gone for. I will also link below the ad campaign for this year. So it's called A Very Private Affair. It is basically, the concept behind it is these girls, the angels get I'm not sure if they're all angels, I think they might be, but they basically get an invite to like a big palace place and they have like a party there, and the makeup looks they were wearing were quite dark and dramatic. I noticed they still had that sort of rosy flushed cheek, but they had a lot darker eyes than is generally seen in the shows. So I kind of did I did a little bit darker on the outer corner than I would usually for this kind of look. But anyway, without any further rambling, which I am very, very apt to do, let us get into the makeup look. Okay, so I'm just going to start out as usual with my simple hydrating light moisturiser, and we don't want an oily look, we just want a very, very glowy look. So I'm just going to go in over the top of that with my L'Oreal Infallible mattifying base. And I wouldn't recommend using this if you have dry skin or even just normal skin. I have extremely oily skin, so I always need a mattifying base. But yeah, just use whatever works for you. Now I'm not doing a specific Victoria's Secret look, I'm just kind of taking inspiration from what I've seen over the past, sort of in the more recent years, and I've definitely noticed a lot of bronzy and gold lids. So I'm just going to go in with my Maybelline 24-hour Colour Tattoo in Badge the Bronze all over my lid. Okay, and I was looking at this year's campaign, the sort of little short film that they do. The eye look was quite dark, so I'm just going to go in with a matte dark brown shade on the outer corner, and I'm just going to use this dark brown shade from the Maybelline The Nudes palette. I'm just using a fluffy brush to really, really gently dab it on the outer corner and then sort of really lightly into the crease, but mainly focusing on the outer corner. And something that I've really noticed like every year for the Victoria's Secret makeup is that they always have an inner corner highlight. So I'm just going to go in with this Maybelline Eyestudio palette in Give Me Gold, and I'm just using this really beautiful shimmery gold shade, and I'm going to put that in my inner corner. And this just makes your eyes look more awake and kind of brightens them up. Okay, now while liner is not a big thing for Victoria's Secret makeup looks, generally it tends to be kind of quite liner free, they always do just a really, really, really thin line of liner just on the outer corner, sort of the outer 2/3 of the eye, right at the base of the eyelashes, just to kind of give volume to the eyelashes. It's not a flick, it's not a big winged liner or anything like that, it's just really, really, really thin and natural. So I'm just going to use my Maybelline Eyestudio Lasting Drama Gel Eyeliner, and I'm going to put a really thin line just on the outer 2/3 of my eye. So see how it just kind of thickens up the lash line? Like, it's not really obvious that I'm wearing liner, it just kind of makes the lashes look fuller and thicker. Okay, and then you want lots and lots and lots of mascara for this look, so I'm just going to use my Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. And what I always do is I always sort of wiggle it at the roots of the lashes, just back and forth, and then up and out. So the majority of the product is going to be at the base. And you have to kind of tilt your head back a bit when you're doing this, otherwise you get mascara all over your eyelids. Okay, now you can either put another coat of mascara on, leave it like that, put some false eyelashes on, Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some individual lashes. The ideal look for this brand is just mascara, basically, like as natural as possible. But Dick Page, who was the makeup artist for last year and the year before, basically said that it was quite funny because the girls sort of would go off and put false eyelashes on, like they'd sort of go off somewhere out the back and put on some false eyelashes, like there was some sort of eyelash distributor conspiracy going on because they just couldn't stand not having false eyelashes on because they were so used to it. But he wanted them to just have the mascara on, and he said that looks best, like the sort of natural look. And in the campaign for this year, they're definitely wearing false eyelashes. I think maybe they might be wearing half sets on the outer half of the eye, but I'm just going to go in with some individual lashes and kind of mimic that effect and just do sort of longer ones on the outer corner and kind of make my eye more sexy and cat-like. Okay, so I think I'm just going to use 3 of the medium ones on the outer corner, just because I still want this to be quite natural, but yeah, I just want that sort of length on the outer corner, and I think the long ones are a little bit too long for this. And you don't have to use individual lashes because I know they can be really, really fiddly and annoying. I just spent ages trying to put them on and I got really annoyed. So if you don't want to use those, you can use half sets of lashes, or you can just cut a set of lashes that you already have in half and just put them on the outer corner, because that just really gives that effect of having a sort of slinkier, longer, kind of larger eye. Okay, now a trademark look of Victoria's Secret is that the eyebrows are always really, really, really natural. I mean, sometimes it looks like they haven't even done anything to them at all. They basically just fill them in the very, very, very smallest amount they possibly can. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna fill in the tiny little bits that I need to fill in, but basically not do anything to them, just brush them through, because you just want to look like you kind of just rolled out of bed and put a tiny bit of makeup on, but not worried about your eyebrows, because eyebrows can definitely change the whole look of the makeup, and if you make them really, really strong, then even if the rest of your face is really natural and glowing, it still looks like you put time and effort into it, which is the opposite of the effect that we want. So I'm just going to go in again with my Maybelline the Nudes palette, and I'm just going to use this sort of grey shade, which I always use. It just kind of looks like, you know, my eyebrows are naturally quite dense. So I'm just going to brush them and then fill them in. And I always brush them down first so I can see the spaces easier. I don't know if I'm the only person in the world that does that, but I always find it easier to see the spaces. I can't even remember, someone was I think it might have been Lisa Eldridge said to do that. Someone said to do that, and I always do it now, and I've not seen anyone else do it, but it always helps me. So just put the tiniest amount on the brush and just kind of really lightly feather it in, because you're not creating strokes, you're not creating extra hairs, you're just giving the illusion that you don't have spaces in between your brows. Not in between your brows, you want a space in between your brows. Space in between your brow hairs. And especially when you come to this front bit, I wouldn't really even put any on, just if you have to, just the very, very sort of dregs left on the brush. Okay, and then you want to brush them up, and if you have long eyebrow hairs like I do, like caveman eyebrows, then you are going to brush the tops to the side. But you don't want it too perfect, you just want it to look quite natural and just like you've got big full brows. It's not quite caveman status. So the face for a Victoria's Secret model is always beautiful and flawless, just absolutely flawless, but it looks like that's her real skin, which most of the models do have really, really, really good skin anyway, so they don't really use much foundation at all. Like, I've seen the makeup artists do it on the Victoria's Secret models, and they literally put the tiniest bit of foundation on, and they don't even need it. Like, it doesn't even make any difference really. They just kind of conceal under their eyes and then put a tiny bit if they have any redness like around their nose. But my face is not quite Victoria's Secret model status. I have an awful lot of pigmentation and acne scars and redness and all kinds of beautiful craziness. Well, not really beautiful, but we're going to make it beautiful. So I'm going to go in with my color correcting palette, which is an absolute dream if you have a face like mine, if you have pigmentation like I do. I'm going to use the sort of pink shade here for darkness, for pigmentation, like dark spots, which is mostly what I have. So these sort of red, they are red, but they're mostly just dark. So I really just want to lighten these. So all of this stuff around here, and then around my nose I go in with the green, so I have a lot of redness around my nose and also on my nose. And then under my eyes, like everybody, I have dark circles around under my eyes, so I'm going to go in with the yellow shade, and all of this will just sort of help with the foundation when I put that over the top to cancel out all of that unruliness underneath, so it just looks like I have naturally flawless skin. So I don't know if you noticed, but we have a new member of the family. Say hello, Donald. Now, unfortunately, Donald, you don't really fit with the look we're going for, so I'm going to have to cover you up. Okay, now that you're looking like a wannabe clown, we are going to put on some highlight underneath the foundation, because I always notice with Victoria's Secret makeup, they never ever have highlight. I mean, if they do, it's very unnoticeable, like it's a liquid highlight or something underneath the foundation, which is exactly what I'm going to do, because we do want it to be glowy and radiating from within. So I'm just going to put on some highlight underneath my foundation to kind of give that glowy effect. And I'm not actually going to use a highlight. I'm going to use my Maybelline 24-Hour Color Tattoo, and this is in the shade Barely Branded. And I've used this before as a highlight with the Gigi Hadid makeup look I did, and I used it for the first time as a highlight then, and I absolutely fell in love with it. So I'm just going to use this again just on my cheekbones to give that sort of glowy effect, and also kind of the center of my face. For foundation, I'm just going to go in with my usual foundation, so my Rimmel Matte Perfection foundation. But today I'm actually going to put it on using my fingers, which I haven't done in years and years. I always use my sponge. If you have a beauty blender, you would know that you use that for everything. But I don't want to use that today. I am going to use my fingers, because that is what they always do in Victoria's Secret. Like the backstage, they always use their fingers because it sort of gives a much more natural look. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to work with my skin, because that does give a little bit less coverage, but I'm just going to see what I can do, because I do have my color correcting underneath, so I'm hoping I can kind of get away with less. Right, well, I'm gonna have to go in with a bit more on my nose, because we can't leave that like it is, because I don't want to be a green nose. So I'm just gonna add a bit more to the areas that I need it. But I actually really like the way this looks. Like, it's really sort of flawless and natural. And I used to use my fingers every single day for my foundation. I never ever used brushes or sponges or anything like that. I just use my fingers. Okay, I am loving this effect. Oh my gosh, it looks so nice. That's so funny, you spend all this money on like brushes and sponges and everything, and then it just looks better when you use your fingers. Okay, that spot's being quite stubborn. What's his name? Gerald. Gerald, you are not the star of the show today. You're just gonna have to wait. And after this, you can be as loud and proud as you want. Just work with me on this one. Gerald, come on mate, we're all waiting for you. Right, so I sort of managed to get Gerald to behave himself, and I'm just going to go in with my Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser Eye Concealer, and I'm just going to go underneath my eyes, around my nose, down the center of my nose in the usual spots, but I'm only going to use a little bit, and I'm going to blend it out with my fingers, because we don't want a really obviously concealed highlighted look. We just want it to look like, you know, awake and sort of flawless and natural. So I'm just kind of like dotting this on. Usually I'd sort of rub it around, and then I'm just going to use my fingers to blend it away. Now, like I said, I am extremely oily, so I am just going to powder really lightly, just sort of really dusting it around everywhere that I usually get oily, but I'm not gonna go on my cheeks or my cheekbones or anything like that, because I just want to kind of give the illusion that I am glowy, but not oily. And this is the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. So sort of focusing now on a really rosy look. So I was watching a makeup tutorial done by Dick Page. I'll link it below, but basically he was using a red color for the cheeks, and it was almost like a lipstick, and you can use lipsticks as blush if you want. So I'm just going to use this lipstick. This is the Maybelline Color Sensational in Fatal Red, and I'm just going to put this on just using my fingers. I'm just going to dab it onto my cheeks, so I'm just going to get a bit on my finger. Sort of dab it onto the apples of my cheeks, and then kind of blend it away. So it's mainly focused on the apples of the cheeks, and then you want to kind of blend it out. And you also just want to put a little bit on the nose as well, just kind of on the bridge of the nose. Okay, now because my cheekbones aren't incredibly sculpted and amazing like a Victoria's Secret angel, I'm just going to kind of bronze a little bit. I'm not going to contour, because that is not the look they're going for at all. They don't want a really contour look, because again, that looks like you spent more time on it, and it's kind of obvious when you're contouring. So I'm just going to use my Physicians Formula Powder Palette Mineral Glow Pearls in Light Bronze Pearl, and I'm just going to kind kind of warm up the perimeter of my face, just to give the impression that I have a little bit more dimension to my face and like my cheekbones actually exist. Okay, so for lips, you just want a really natural look, as if your lips are just naturally gorgeous and plump and voluptuous and amazing. So I'm actually going to just start out with some lip balm. This is the Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula Lip Balm. This is I think this is the coconut one. I'm just going to put this all over to kind of make my lips nice and moisturized. And then I'm just going to kind of tie the look together, I'm just going to go back in with that same color I used for my lips, the Facial Red Color Sensational Maybelline lipstick. But I'm just going to put a tiny bit on, just to kind of create a stain, which is what Dick Page always does. He always creates like a stain on the lips. And you can always just grab some more of that highlight and just put a little bit in the center of your lips to make them look bigger. So to make your bottom look bigger, you want to put the highlight just on the center of the bottom lip like this. And to make the top look bigger, you want to put the highlight on the Cupid's bow. Okay, so we are nearly done. I'm just going to go back in with the eyes, and I'm going to put this dark brown shade that we used on the outer corner. I'm just going to put that underneath my eyes, and I'm only going to go 3/4 of the way along. So just like we did with the eyeliner on the top, I'm going to put this 3/4 of the way along underneath my eyes. And then you just want to clean your brush off just on the back of your hand. And with the clean brush, you want to blend that in so you don't just have a harsh line that just stops. Then I'm just going to go in with some mascara on my bottom lashes. This is the Maybelline Colossal Mascara. Okay, so that is it. That is the finished look. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like it if you did, and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Also, leave me a comment. Let me know what you would like to see next. Tell me a bit about you. I'd really like to get to know you more and get to know what you would like to see. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.